Okay, I'm gonna call the November 30th, 2023 Health and Human Relations Commission meeting to order. And welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. The first thing on our agenda is to vote on the approval of minutes. So I move to approve. Second that. Okay, we got a second. And so we will move forward with the approval. Our third item is time for public input. I decided to move that higher.
Give folks a chance if they want to leave.
Right, higher in the agenda so that people don't have to sit through all of our nuts and bolts. If they have something they want to bring up to us, I'm going to try to keep that at the top of the agenda from here on out. So that people can come and then go if they need to, out of respect for their time. But I don't think we have any public input tonight. Okay. All right, we are no public input tonight. So our fourth agenda item is to report on action items from the last meeting. I think there were a few for Dave. Do you have anything to report, David?
I have written down the paper, if that's helpful to have said out loud.
Sure.
I have Dave Bramer follow up with the fire chief about concerns raised regarding fire hydrants and smoke detectors.
Yeah, I don't have that on me right now.
And then next one that I had was also Dave Bramer investigate what is being done about interpretive services. I think it was about the interpretive
Translation.
Yeah, at the hospital, was that where it was? Or no,
Courthouse.
Courthouse.
Yeah, I don't know that we've ever tried much. Do you think, can you read it all right? Have her talk to Sarah to see if there's might be something that we could, that she would know of that might be helpful for us to kind of enlist to do that.
Have Shirley Klepper meet with you, or?
Yeah, just, or just share some resources that are out there that we can at least investigate to use to help in that area.
Okay.
I mean, in some cases you wonder, there are a number of Spanish classes throughout the county in both the high schools. And would that be something that we could enlist some to kind of expose students to some government things, but also to get them to translate some of our forms and stuff and get them just to try to enlist some of that help, but also to provide some positive things for folks that need that kind of service. I mean, it's a start, and then maybe going on from there. So
possibly, I think we would have to check in and like make sure that. I think the thing I want to look into is like, is there like this type of certification you could do for translation services just to make sure that that you're like a verified person who can translate, especially for like government documents. That might be something I can look into or ask Shirley about. Like if there's any qualifications you need to have to do translations on legal documents or anything like that. But I think it's a good idea.
I was thinking,
and maybe the college too.
well, that's
for engaging.
I was just thinking, some of the forms that we have online, if they could to do that, but the legal documents, probably right.
Yeah.
You have to have some a little more.
Somebody who has like a seal or certification. I don't know. I feel like there might be something like that. I worked with international recruitment for a while, and we required students to have their documents, like their transcripts and things like that, translated by a certified person. so that they weren't just randomly, official documents randomly translated. So I feel like official documents would definitely need some kind of like service, but for like other paperwork and things like that, maybe not. So that's something to think about. I'm gonna make it an action step for myself. To reach, to look into that a little bit. And talk to Shirley Pfeffer about it.
Okay, I mean, there's not been anything done in the county, so I mean, looking at that, I asked around a little bit, no one
Okay.
could remember anything that had been done, so.
Oh, man. I'm not spelling well today as I type. Sorry, my brain. It's the week before finals week, and so everybody's a little stretched. Yeah, I'll look into that. And you're gonna follow up with the fire chief about.
Yeah.
I think were the specific questions about like more education and resources and what they're doing
I
for
think,
specific communities or.
well, I think that there was a concern raised about like the pressure.
Yeah,
And
okay.
like, are they tested to ensure that in the event of an emergency, they're
Yeah.
usable?
Like
Is
who's in charge of making sure that the hydrants work
Yeah,
and like the regularity of.
Yeah, how often do they test them and what's
Yeah.
what's the thing? So, yeah, I've got that.
Okay.
And probably, I think we talked about education, but to help, I think did we talk about smoke alarms and trying to get those and trying to work something with them on what efforts they're doing and see if there's anything we can help, especially in kind of what, and with the second topic that we just talked about, to help those folks that may need some help language wise to understand what's going on and not to be, have to miss these opportunities just because they didn't understand what was being put out. Cause I'm pretty sure they try things, but making that effort to reach out to folks who may not speak English, so.
Yeah, especially the Hispanic Heritage Festival, there were so many booths there. It makes sense to like have a booth specifically for that as well, at events like that.
Mhm.
Like everybody in town was there, and they had really good food.
If you're frying food, farmers eat it.
I mean,
They can't lose.
it's really good.
Sorry.
So, sorry, yeah, off topic, highly recommend that festival. Great, so I'm gonna look into that and see what I can find out. And kind of dig into like what certifications or maybe see if I can find out what other counties use.
Yeah, there was a reference to some counties having a language line that they use for calling for assistance. Just and then also, at the hospital, they have a service on iPads in which they FaceTime translators.
Kind of like a live, face-to-face with somebody on an iPad. Okay. Cool. We can look into it.
Awesome.
Alright. Let me make this a bulleted list because I might have more.
The next thing I had on the list was Team Stormer to follow up with Lisa and Lindsay about funding a mobile clinic and feasibility study and with the health department about STI testing.
Yeah. I'm gonna put back on my list to reach out to Lisa because I forgot what I needed to ask her about. I just had reached out to Lisa. So it was about,
Funding for a mobile clinic
okay.
and feasibility study. And that's what my notes say. And then it says also with the health department about STI testing.
Okay, I did reach out to Lindsay. I haven't heard back from her yet. But I can follow back up with her. I think I sent an email, both about STI testing and availability of contraceptives and I mentioned also, if there's mobile health clinics, that we could think about getting into the county. So I haven't heard back, but I'm sure I will. I did,
I think we talked a little bit about some of this additional funding that's coming, and that's some of the things that they're gonna look at providing.
and I'll reach back out to Lindsay to follow up. It's a slow month for everybody, I think. Maybe not slow month.
I think that, November didn't have that, I'm committed, it didn't exist.
Like I got sick
Skipped over now.
and there was Thanksgiving and then it's today. Oh, all right. I will say on the topic of feasibility study, or maybe I should wait. Cause there's probably other action items before we jump into that. So yeah, I don't have anything, but I'll keep following up. Was the next one about the sensory vehicle training?
Was for Kimmy.
Okay, and she shared an email with all of us, with some follow-up, from Laurel, and basically, it was about that they do want help for training for the vehicle specifically. They don't really need people just in general to do a general training. It's a very specific training for the vehicle, and that's what the event is gonna be about. So they want help to train the community, with an event, sometime next year. So I think the big thing is just to schedule a meeting with Laurel and to try to get it on the books. Maybe I'll reach out to her and invite her to our next meeting. That's my action set list. And we can even put it on the agenda if she can come. And if she can't, then we'll try to work in, like, maybe Cam and I can meet with her or something.
You said Laurel was who you wanted to invite?
Mhm. Okay. So, I think that's all of our action steps. So next is commission members report on events from the last month. I have a couple things I can contribute, but did anybody else have any events or meetings pertaining to these? Okay. All right. The main things that I have are that I got sick, so I couldn't meet with Sarah, but I emailed her all the stuff for the updates for the website. And so it is updated and it is live. So y'all can actually go to the county website, and we have a link to the HHRC and see all the updates. So I'll make that an action step for everybody. Go check it out. And let me know if there is any changes. We can reach out to Sarah. So yeah, I pulled it up and we're all listed on there. There's an overview. There's the appointment application. A resolution is on there. We can only find the draft of the bylaws, so we're kind of in search of the bylaws. I don't know if you have that. If you do, share it with Sarah, and she can link it. And I think that's, FAQs are on there. I took your Qs and made answers to them. And let me know if you don't like the answers to the FAQs, so we can update them. And some helpful links. If you think of any other links that we should add, you can either just email them directly to me or to Sarah. So that has happened. It is done. We accomplished something. And we should get updates if we get any appointment applications. The other thing that I have is that Scott Murphy and I were both at a meeting that the Jefferson County Health Initiative, the YMCA group, put on was meeting with a coordinator of their feasibility study, and they were there just kind of getting some feedback and information, talking about the needs of the county and how the feasibility study works. So it's kind of seemed like a kickoff to a feasibility study. So that is happening. So they will be kind of questioning the community about what we want and need, and what kind of services will be needed by that facility. And then they'll know how much it's gonna cost. That is the big question. All right. And then the feasibility is, can we meet that cost? Okay. If there's no other reports from this last month, is there any new business? Anybody needs to bring up? Okay. Next, I think that's it. This might be the fastest meeting ever. We really did this one quick. Just really updates. So, our next meeting would be January 4th is the tentative date that we set at the last meeting. Does that still work? Okay.
Was that tentative contingent on the availability of a space? Or was that?
Well, there was a possibility, although I think that possibility,
Was there a commissioners meeting?
yeah, it was gonna be, but they moved it to the week after,
Okay.
so.
So we can do, I think I would prefer to do it the 4th rather than the 25th, because the 25th would be a full 2 months from now.
Yeah.
So,
Commissioner meetings on the 11th,
okay.
so.
All right, so we can take the tentative off that we will do it on January 4th. And we can, I guess also do January 25th. We can probably determine that at the January
Yeah.
4th meeting.
Yeah, commissioners that meeting. Before it's the 11th and then the 25th, would you have commissioners on the 25th? Because I think that you did.
We can just take the 25th off.
Yeah. We'll have the 11th and the 25th, that one, so.
So January 4th, then February 29th, because it's leap year.
Okay,
And March 28th and April 25th.
that sounds good. All right, so the action items for the next meeting, I'm gonna look into translation services and talk to Shirley Buffer about different translation services she might know of and do a little research on that. I'm also gonna follow up with Lisa Shelton about kind of how to, in the feasibility study, get information about funding a mobility clinic. I'm gonna follow up with Lindsay about those questions too, and the other questions about accessibility of STI testing and things like that. And then I'm gonna invite Laurel to her next meeting or set up another meeting with her about having an event for training for the sensory vehicle. All right.
So
Mhm.
I'm looking at the website and I know it's your email address. Do you want, we can set up like an email address for just the commission, and that way
Yeah,
you don't, one, doesn't get bombarded if it would, but in two, it's,
sure.
we can have it set up so we all can get to it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that would be great.
Cool.
I think mine just got put in there just for the time.
right,
being.
right, I understand, but it's pretty easy. We're getting ready. We're probably gonna change the email service, so I may wait until January to do it, but we'll just get one set up for the commission and just have its own email address, and then there's a certain security that you have to go through to get in, but once we get in, we'll be all right. I'll do that.
Great. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. And if I get bombarded in the next month or so, I'll just make an email folder. Put it all in there. Okay. All right, and anything like that, feel free to, if you see anything with the website, that was the last action item with everybody to look at the website. Okay, so, with that being the last item, I'm gonna move to adjourn.
Hey, before we do that.
Oh, sure.
May I ask, may I just read out what I have on
Okay.
my notes for action items? James Stormer's gonna follow up about the mobile clinic. James Stormer's gonna follow up about translation services. Dave Raymer will make an email for the commission. And then James Stormer will reach out to invite Laurel to our next meeting. And all HHRC members should visit and report any feedback they have about the website.
Yeah, you can keep me on there for the fire chiefs and the hybrid and stuff.
Perfect. I'll add those.
Okay. Now I'll move to adjourn. Being adjourned. Okay, you're saying, okay, great. And that is all. We had a really quick one and a not very exciting one. Sorry about that. But we got some stuff done.